Hello everyone, this is Varsha and you are watching the series of success stories brought to you by Indian Achievers Forum. So once again, we are here with you all to discuss the success story of one more achiever of our, and this time we have with us Dr. Priyanka Mathur. So Dr. Priyanka Mathur is a trained physician with work experience in the healthcare system of three different countries, which is India, Russia and the United States of America. She is a healthcare visionary and enthusiast in AI and healthcare intersections and the founder of MediPocket. She founded MediPocket in the USA to address transparency and affordability of prescriptions medications in the United States, and her new global initiative MediPocket World is a cross-border care at mission to make quality and specialty care borderless and create a personalized care ecosystem borderless. She was born and brought up in India and pursued her medical studies in Russia. Later, she returned to India to practice her know-how before eventually settling in the United States. She has proficiency in 5 languages, which is Hindi, English, Sanskrit, Russian, and Spanish. But before we actually start the conversation with her, let's quickly have a look at a very small video telling you about what we actually do.
Indian Achievers Forum is driven by a full-fledged advisory board. The board consists of experienced personalities who have excelled in their respective careers. Together, the forum organizes conferences, events, workshops, exhibitions, trade shows, and B2B initiatives in India as well as abroad. Where there is passion, there is achievement. And where there is achievement, there is Indian Achievers Forum.
Hello, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Varsha?
All good, ma'am. Thank you so very much. So before we actually start the conversation, I'm very keen to know that how did you actually land up to the idea of starting up with this business of yours?
So, the business is MediPocket and it's health tech company. And healthcare has always been my passion, I would say, when I was very, very young. I think the only thing I wanted to be since age 5 is to be a doctor. So, healthcare has been my passion since very starting. And for that, I went to Russia, did my medical studies. I came back to India and I worked in Delhi and Rajasthan. And then I came to United States to pursue my cardiology specialization. And while I was doing this, and being in California, living in Los Angeles, next door to Silicon Valley, a lot of innovations and this artificial intelligence, machine learning, and the health tech and all. It was always like these sounds are always there surrounding me, and it made me really interested and curious that how we can use technology with medicine in order to simplify the healthcare for patients and caregivers. And I think because with that kind of a purpose, I deviated from the clinical part of healthcare to more into the health tech part. And that's how MediPocket was born, with the purpose to help patients navigate the healthcare system and make it more simplified and accessible to the patients and caregivers.
Right, ma'am. So, nothing comes that easy to us, and I'm pretty sure that you must have also had certain sort of challenges in your professional role or journey. So, tell us a bit about those challenges and also the overcomings for the same.
I think challenges are there in the life every day, right? I mean, whether it be business or life. But in my case, it was, I was transitioning from practicing clinician to something in the entrepreneur journey. So I was transitioning from something which is very comfortable, very secure, respected, and rewarding as a doctor to into entrepreneur journey, which is uncertain, no security when you start. And to be honest, the respect and rewards also come later. They don't come in the starting. So it was a big transition. So it was challenging for me from inside that. First it was challenging. Okay, if I am I doing it right? Am I, taking this as a right step? Once I have thought it over and I was firm, no, this is what I want to do, because there was a purpose attached to it, a mission attached to it. Then the challenge is the family and friends, for them to understand why I'm making that transition, And I think one thing that I did with that is like told them the purpose, what is my purpose of doing that, and otherwise how I will do it, if I'll be able to do it good or bad. I didn't convince people much. I was like, let my actions talk about it. So that was, I would say, the starting of the challenges start there on my journey into MediPocket. And then the second challenge is MediPocket is a health tech product. So healthcare part, obviously, I have domain expertise because I studied, I trained, I worked into that with exposure of international care system. So that was my domain expertise. But then MediPocket has a technology part to it, and that is where I was zero. I just didn't know what to do, how to do to bring that efficient solution. So I was like, okay, I need to go out in the world and ask for help. One thing I did, I think I understood and did it, that in order to go and ask for a help, because that's a challenge, right? You need to know what you're asking very precisely so you can reach to the right people or find the right resources. So in case of the technology, I educated myself, understood the technical terms like what is artificial intelligence, machine learning, algorithms, and stuff like that, how they could be implemented to the solution I'm trying to bring so that effectively we can bring to the market. Obviously, I didn't start coding, but I understood, like, what are these things. And that is when I got self-educated a little bit, understood what my needs are, where I need in order to bring the solution. I went out in the world, asked, look for the right set of people, like, who have the right mindset. And then I think I was very lucky, but at the same time, it took a little hard work to find that team. And our team, I think, is a really, really strong team at MediPocket, which is very diverse. They all have their domain expertise, but they have one thing in common in all of us. That is the purpose of MediPocket. And the purpose of MediPocket is to help as many patients around the world to get the access to the right and the quality care. And I think with that purpose, all the other challenges as they come, we tackle them every day as they come. But one thing to add also, as you experience, and every one of us experience, is that challenges never stop. When you get successful, you don't get immune that there won't be any challenges. As you get more successful, the challenges are bigger. As an entrepreneur, as a person, I think what we need to be ready, even in life or business, I say, ready for challenges. Just have the personality to go through it. Don't make them your roadblockers. Just go through the challenges. And I think that's what have been my journey with all the steps of challenges that, I try to go through them, sometimes very successfully, sometimes not that successfully.
Very, very rightly said, ma'am. Challenges are the part and parcel of our lives, and if there are no challenges, I guess the life will become very boring also. Right. So now, if you can please brief us a bit about the product and services that your company is providing to people out there.
Yeah, that is my best part. I can talk about that day in and out. So MediPocket was started in US, and the vertical that we started is the prescription vertical, addressing the transparency, the affordability, and accessibility to the prescription medications. For that, we partnered with 75,000 pharmacies across United States, Hawaii, and Puerto Rico. So our members with a free RX discount card with any of our partnered pharmacy can save up to 80% on their medications. With that, we saw a bigger global opportunity, and we pivoted to MediPocket World, which is the current MediPocket cross border care, where international patients sitting anywhere in the world from their homes can access the best specialists and hospitals in United States. Um, you know, as being a healthcare provider and also being a patient on the other side of it, a mother and a caregiver, I have seen the struggle of accessing the right specialist when it comes to the critical, complicated, chronic conditions. You really need to go to the right specialist. And that becomes a struggle where patients struggle. They spend a lot of time, money, and emotional turmoil. So that is what MediPocket is solving, that anywhere in the world, let's say patients suffering from cancer, from any cardiology complications, and have to decide if have to go for angioplasty or angiography or not, they can simply come to MediPocket platform and access the best US specialist and talk to them, consult them, and define a treatment plan. Another thing at MediPocket we do is that we hold a patient's hand from the very starting of their journey on our platform. So we help them to navigate through their symptoms through our patient intelligent assistant, as we call it, Dr. AI. And then our patient coordinators help patients to organize all the health information, put them together in a pocket, which we call it PHR, patient health record, so that patient can get involved and informed about their health. And that is how these records are done, or we call it like a, the health pocket is created of medical for the patient. The same pocket is passed to the specialist that they have will be going for consultation. And then the consultation, once the consultation is done with the US specialist, we do not leave our patients there. What we do is we go along, and obviously we need the patients willing to do that with us. These specialists in United States work with the local doctors of the patient in India or anywhere in the world and design the treatment plan for that, follow the treatment plan for the best health outcome. So overall, with MediPocket, our purpose is to create, to empower the patient and to provide the quality care, personalized and borderless.
Amazing services you people are providing to people out there, ma'am. So now moving ahead and talking about the future, what further plans are you having for the company in the upcoming years? If you can talk a bit about those plans with us, please.
Sure. So MediPocket have started with India. Obviously, we have the base in US as a parent company and an Indian company. So we have started with Indian patients, but our goal in the coming, I would say, in the near future, is to reach to pay patients around Asia, Africa, and all the other countries, to reach to the patient who are in the need of the specialty care. So our purpose is to reach as many patients in all the corners of the world to get them the access to the right specialist. For that, what we have done, we have partnered with the best specialists in US. We have partnered with the best institutes in US like UCLA, Cedars, Mayo Clinic, MD Anderson, and others. So that in case if the patient requires the treatment, again, in the case of the complicated and the critical cases, if they require a treatment, we also connect the patients to the right hospital in United States and also help in their journey, wherever they need our assistance, the concierge service or that. But again, we help the patients in their journey. So our purpose with MediPocket in the near future is to provide an ecosystem, I would say a personalized and a cross-border ecosystem for care, where whatever you need in the specialty care, MediPocket should be there to reach as many people as possible around the world.
Right, ma'am, and I'm pretty sure that you'll be coming out as a rising star in these plans of yours as well. Right. So now moving ahead, I really want to know that if you could have any other career, so what would it be?
That is such an interesting question. And honestly, I never thought about it before. It recently, in another interview, that question came, and it really made me think, if I would have not been a doctor or have not done, my this MediPocket, what I would have done. So I enjoy designing. So I think I would have been a designer, a fashion or an interior designer. I like designing, and I do get my hands dirty designing. I design my house. I mean, not architectural wise, but designing wise. I like designing the clothes when they are like, the functions or stuff like that in a family. I really get into it, designing. So I enjoy designing. So I think I might have would have been a designer, if not doctor. And I do part of that in MediPocket also. I do that because I get firsthand in designing when we are designing a product or when we're designing a feature. So I get involved in it firsthand. So yeah, I think designer would be the thing. If not this, that would have been my career.
Lovely, ma'am. So now, moving ahead, as you know that this year India, would be celebrating the 75th year of independence. So, which is actually famously known as Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. So, what do you have to say on this? As in, how far we have come, and what is your vision pertaining to this?
We have come very far. And an Indian outside India, we are really proud. It's not that we were not proud before, but now it's a very different level how the India has come on the world map. And obviously the leadership we are right now under, or the other factors. But before, India was looked more like, obviously Indians are hardworking, right? I mean, the world knows that. So we were known for our hard work. We were known to be a good managers around the world. But now, in the recent years, India has shown the world that we can be leaders, we can be innovators. So India has really come to that, have put a place on the world map, in the power of these, so-called, call it to be a first world countries, as they used to call it in olden days. But they really have to come, where these countries sometimes look for to India for help, for advice. And so India also have come as a provider, which before I think we didn't have that status in the world. Now we also not only capable in ourselves, but we can also come out to help others, be a provider as needed. So I would say we have come really very far along in the 75 years, and more so recently in this past few years, where India has really shown the world and made a position in the world, whether it be entrepreneurship or whether it be innovations, whether it be healthcare. We really have put ourselves, the India has come into a very, very prominent place in the world. And it really made us feel proud that now India is not only looked for beautiful Bollywood movies or tasty, flavorful food, but now we are known for these other things that make us the leader in the world in various sectors. So, and that with Medi Pocket, just to connect that, what are with that with Medi Pocket is we want to be we want to be associated with this growth in healthcare field. We want India into or I would say or little organized, if I can say it, into the healthcare part, where we as a patient and doctors can come together and make it a more organized system so it can be efficient, because there's a ratio gap between patient and the doctor, and technology can fill that gap. So digital health, which is I think is an innovation, and it's one of the program the Indian government is very much focused about, is where we want to be part of it, starting with cross border care, but going along into the depth in the country also, with the I would say the rural parts to be connected with the right care. Also, we also want to go deep and also to go further with the digital health.
Rightly said, ma'am, that India, like these few years, has made us all realize that India have all the potential to become the number one country in world, irrespective of whichever area of field we are working in. All right, so now moving ahead, ma'am. Though I know it's always a very wonderful feeling when we get recognitions for our work, still I would love to know from you that what are your feelings on winning this Indian Achievers Award?
Awards are always make you happy, right? It's always a recognition. So I think awards comes with a recognition, and the recognition of your work, recognition of your purpose, recognition of your mission, and recognition of your team, I think comes along with that, because you won't be able to accomplish alone. So it's always, it's a group behind you, an army or a team behind you. So these recognitions are like a boost to us. And more than that, I think a little special when having this Indian Achievers Award for my parents, because as in India, you can never take India out of Indians. We are deep Indians within. So getting recognition in other ways are always, it's always a proud feeling, you feel good about it. But getting that as an Indian achiever, it's just different level. Your parents feel like, okay, yeah, beti ne kuch kiya, so I mean, so it's really special, especially I would say Indian Achievers Award is very special.
Right, ma'am, and I once again congratulate the entire team of yours in this achievement of yours.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So now, though your profession itself is, very well contributing to the society, but apart from this profession of yours, is there any other CSR activities that you're involved in?
I believe like every company should have a social purpose to it. I mean, see, commercials, the retails, everything comes along with that, but there has to be a social purpose, which Medi Pocket has. We want to make a difference in the society, in the healthcare sector. Beside that, I think the social contribution to the society in a smaller or bigger way came very starting to me from my parents again, because both my parents are, they are attorneys and judges in Rajasthan. And from the very beginning, they were always attached to the social causes, whether it be, for the women, whether it be for special need kids, whether it be for elderly care, like Helpage India. My father was the national president of Helpage India and stuff like that. So we grew up seeing our parents being a busy professionals, having three kids, but still they were, attached to these social causes in one way or the other. So in the very starting, I think I got attached to them, and I was part of them. So I started in India. I was a part of AIDS mission. So I volunteered in that, especially in the rural part of the country. I was also a part of women education in the hygiene part, which is a little stigma to talk about sometimes in the smaller cities or villages in the rural areas. So I was part of that, being doing a social part, in a smaller way. And then when I came to United States, this thing continued, but in a little different. With my entrepreneurial journey, it came with, the learnings, with a lot of learnings and failures. So now I'm associated with a lot of these programs, like, young entrepreneur programs with the universities, with other organizations, to help these young smart minds to whatever I can give with my experience. So hopefully they don't make the same mistake. I always say, don't be immune to not making mistakes, because until unless you make a mistake, you won't learn. So you need to make your own mistakes, but at least maybe we can minimize those by learning from others. So I try to be part of these ones. Also, I am part of the women organization in India still, though not physically very active, but I still try to be a little part of it. And it's more related to women education and legal education, where my mom actually helps me in that. So I try to contribute a little bit here and there.
Amazing, ma'am. So now moving ahead, and this might be a pretty strange of a question, but still, if you could have a chance to have dinner with any of three people, whether dead or alive, so who would it would be and why?
Yeah, that is an interesting one. Three people dead or alive. Um, so number one, I would say Mahatma Gandhi. And the reason why is I just want to understand how somebody can be so calm and peaceful when, the whole nation was under fire for at the time of independence, the revolution. But that person, man, was so calm and focused for the vision that even he was in peace with, at that time, the Britishers. For us, he was in peace for with the purpose to get for of the nation. So I think he would be the one, our father of the nation. Number two, completely in contrast of him, I would like to have a dinner with Hitler. And the reason is, like, how can someone has that much hatred for another human being, for another another nation, to the level that, as we have read in history, like, the inhuman ways that the things were done at the time of Hitler. So I think that also I would, would like to know, but obviously it's a dangerous to know if he comes alive, and to know from him. And the third would be Mr. Modi. I'm really very, very, proud and impressed how he has what he has done for the nation. I mean, he's a man who has brought India, as we were just talking earlier, brought India into that powerful position where now these powerful nations look to India for advice, for help. I mean, during pandemic, India was a giver. I mean, we provided, at least in the first phase, we were the ones providing it. Obviously, in the phase two, it kind of happened a little other way. But so India has become a powerful nation where the world has come to talk, look, we can look into the eyes of the world as like, okay, no, let's talk on the same level. So again, this, understanding that from Mr. Modi, hopefully one day I will be able to, meet him, because that is not bringing somebody from back from the dead, but he's there. So I really hope that one day I can meet him and get that a little understanding of his personality, or be in the aura that he is. So yeah, these three people would be a very interesting dinner table with this contrast to have it. But yeah, I think these will be the three ones if I will get the opportunity to.
And I think as listeners, it will be very exciting for us to even listen to the conversation that you're gonna have with them. All right, Ram. So now, if you can, what is that one message that you would like to give to our new generation to become successful in their careers?
I would say one thing: if you start something, let's not start that you really want to, just don't start something to be successful. Start something for a purpose, right? Start something to do something. You definitely we need to plan future, but just don't plan too far of the future. I would say start in milestones. And one thing is, think about something think about something very, very well, but then when you have decided, let's not look back. Even if your decisions are full of challenges, full of hardship, let's not look back. if you have started it, try to finish it, successfully or not. Try to finish it. You would land somewhere. If not land very successful, you still would land with a lot of experiences, lot of understanding of the things which you can take it and apply into the next venture. So I would say for young people, I would say just take a leap of faith, obviously with a proper thinking. But once you have taken that decision, try to work for it and not don't look back.
Right, and I'm pretty sure that these words of yours surely gonna help the youngsters or entrepreneur there to, achieve the great milestones in their life as well. So now, before concluding our lovely session, if you can please tell us that where can listeners find you online and use MediPocket?
Sure. So, listeners, viewers, and patients, they can find MediPocket through the website, which is medipocket.world. They can download our applications, which are both on the Android and on the iOS. And through our platform, they can send a request. They can connect to the as I said, to the specialists in US or to the hospitals. We also have a toll free number, which hopefully, if we can put it in the link below. But we have a toll free number. They can literally reach to the patient coordinator. Most of our patient coordinators are in the local languages. We try to cover the big local languages, I would say, of the regions, so people can communicate. So there shouldn't be language, shouldn't be the barrier to get the best care. That is what one of our philosophy is. So they can always, and then for the conversation, for the connections, for the partnership, LinkedIn, I think, is the best platform. So they can always reach me on LinkedIn. They can reach MediPocket and our team on LinkedIn.
Right, ma'am. So thank you so very much for joining with us today. It was pleasure talking to you, and I wish you all the success for all your future endeavors as well. And may you continue to, inspire us the way you are doing. Thank you so very much for joining.
Thank you, Varsha. It was lovely talking to you. Thank you.